and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. 1 is okay. 2 is much better. 3 is the perfect number. And here you see Aaron, Hur, and Moses, the threefold cord, holding up one another so that the people of God can see and be inspired and follow God. If they had not won that battle, just a day, merely over 24 hours after crossing the Red Sea through the most magnificent miracle known in the Bible, other than the rising of Jesus Christ from the dead, here it is, more than a day. Immediately the children of God are thrown into war. War. And had they not won, they had not cleared that pathway through the wilderness. I say to you this morning, we need to hold up each other in prayer. Let me give you these last few points. Here's the message. I said everything that I've said to get to these few points. Here we go. Number 1, we need to hold each other up in prayer. You need to pray for me, and I need to pray for you. But everybody, you need to pray for me, the man of God, and I need to pray for you. We have so much time. I'm working, thank God, and my wife is working also from home. But we still have time because of all of this. We've got to improve and increase our prayer for one another. Number 1, we need to hold up each other in prayer. Number 2, we need to hold up each other in encouragement. We need to hold up each other in encouragement. Do not always have to be encouraged, but we do have to be an encouragement. I want to give this illustration. I've said this several times before, but it's such a good illustration about holding each other up in encouragement and not needing ourselves to be the one that has to be encouraged, but for us to be an encourager. The illustration is simply of a depressed woman in a church goes to her pastor, tells of the problem. The pastor kindly listens and then uniquely gives the following counsel. He says to the woman, "Do you have at home, do you have some flour?" She says, "Yes, of course." "Do you have sugar and do you have baking soda?" "Yes, I do." "Do you have some chocolate chips?" "Yes, I do have some chocolate chips." "So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go make 3 dozen batches of cookies, chocolate chip cookies. And do you have a nursing home near you?" "Yes, I do." So I want you to make those 3 batches of cookies, and I want you to take them to the nursing home, put 2 or 3 in each bag, in a little baggie, and I want you to ask the desk if they can go to room and just read the Bible and give some cookies out to the residents there. And she said, "Pastor, that's awful strange. I've shared now with you how I'm discouraged and I'm depressed." And he said to her, "Do you trust me?" And of course the woman said, "Yes, Pastor, I trust you. Let me go and I'll do what you said, but I don't know if it's going to work." Several weeks later, he saw her in the hallway and he asked her to come over and spend a few moments with him. And he said, "So how is your discouragement, your depression going?" And she said, "Oh, Pastor, I've amazingly been able to center my life." And he said, "Well, how is that?" He says, "Well, I took your advice. I made those cookies and I went from room to room and I got a chance to see so many different people that are in such different and more difficult straits than I ever thought I was. And what a wonderful truth. She, the discouraged, became an encourager. And I pray that you'll also do this and see that Aaron, he had no direction of the battle. He was not out there giving orders. He was the inspiration, holding the rod of God in his hand, holding his other hand up, and having others holding his arms up, and the battle below raging, and seeing that there was hope, there was an ability to overcome. They did it together. We We need to hold each other up, number one, in prayer. We need to hold each other up in encouragement. Number three, and I have five. Number three, we need to hold each other up in faithfulness. You be as faithful to me as I am to you. David said, is there not a cause? Where did he say that? He said that when there was a battle being ready to be fought, and nobody was willing to take the floor and fight that obnoxious giant Goliath. And I say that the faith is the victory, and we have songs about it. And you know this is the truth. And you know that one of the great things of the Bible is faith. Everything operates on faith. And the soldiers looked up and they saw Moses' hands raised, and by faith together they wrought a great initial and critical victory that was so required. What is your victory that is required? You're going to gain it by faith, by getting behind the Bible, by getting behind the promises of the Bible, by getting behind and encouraging, and by getting behind and praying for one another and the man of God. Number four, we need to hold each other up in service. Help with both the physical and the spiritual work of the ministry. Help. Enlist. Help. Go to God. Say, God, what is it that I can do? Let me leverage my spiritual gift and let me give that time back to your house, to your people. You have to give. You have to go. You have to grow. You have to glory. Now, lastly, we need to hold each other up in battle. Amalek is a kind or a type of the devil and a type of the flesh. And it will be a perpetual battle. We need to hold each other up. Get patched up, get sutured up, get back on the battlefield. I say to you this morning that you need to be there for me, and I need to be there for you. And I say that the Bible says that we are to be there in times of trouble. To be means to show up. I'm behind you. How do you know you're behind somebody? They show up. They show up. We have to hit the ground running in 4 weeks when we come back. I mean, we got to hit the ground running. There's going to need to be a church business meeting. We're going to have to cover all different aspects of this work. I'm putting it together now. We're going to have prayer and wisdom. We're going to lay out what needs to be done. We have a facility resource question and concern here with where we're currently meeting. We need to look at the back ties of you, the people, me, the people. We got to make sure that that's all taken care of in the very first week that we're back. We need to look at reviewing missionaries. There's a couple missionaries, not couple, just one missionary. I can't find anymore. We've ceased giving them funds since November because we haven't heard back from them. We don't know if they're still on the field. But we got to look at that. We need to look at possibly increasing the missions budget as well. $25 a month for some of these men. We need to at least do 50. And for those that were doing 50, we need to at least increase to 70. There's many things. We got to hit the ground running. Sunday school. We got to look at how that's got to change. And the attendance and the teachers. We need more teachers. We need more space. Soul winning. We need to look at how to leverage marketing and direct mail. Because I tell you what, things are changing. When you're going to be knocking on the doors out there, it's going to be a whole different response, folks. We need to hold each other up in this battle that is already here. We need to look at baptism. We're so behind in baptism, I can't even remember the last time we've had someone through the water. I blame me. I'm not blaming you, but we're in this together. Leadership additions. We need to talk about leadership.